This video has been compiled from archived footage. Some of the footage may be dated, and you may see repeated footage. This video includes some of the BM-21 Grad MLRS operations from January to March 2025. There may be some repetition in the narration of the videos. The BM-21 Grad. BM-21 Grad missile system of the Northern Fleet Marine Corps hit an area where equipment and personnel of the armed forces of Ukraine were gathered in the direction of Kakhovka in the Kherson region. The BM-21 Grad is a 122mm multi-barrel rocket launcher system developed by the Soviet Union in the 1960s. It can launch 40 122mm rockets, 20 kilometers with standard rockets, and 40+ kilometers with advanced munitions. Transported on a Ural 375D or Ural 4320 truck chassis, can fire all its rockets in 20 seconds. The 19th RCD-BZ Regiment of the 29th Guards Combined Arms Army is attacking Ukrainian armed forces bunkers in the Shakhtarsk direction.
Сава, я парус. К бою. Цель, пункт пуска БПЛА.
Расчет к бою, занять огневую позицию.
Grad MLRS units of the 44th Army Corps of the Northern Group of Forces destroyed UAV launch points and positions of the Ukrainian armed forces in the Kharkov direction of the special operation, creating a corridor for Russian assault troops. This was reported to TASS by the Russian Defense Ministry. The BM-21 Grad is a 122mm caliber multi-barrel rocket launcher system, MLRS, developed by the Soviet Union. It entered service in 1963 and is currently used by many countries. It has a capacity of 40 rockets. It has an average range of 20 to 45 kilometers depending on the rocket type.
Сава, я парус. Прими цель. Живая сила противника и огневые средства. Прицел.
Wars in which the BM-21 Grad has been used: Vietnam War, Afghanistan War, 1979 to 1989, Chechen Wars, Russia-Ukraine War.
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe, and like.
Grad MLRS of the 58th All-Combat Army of the Dnipro Power Group hit a Ukrainian armed forces stronghold in the Zaporizhzhia region. Russian reconnaissance drone operators detected bunkers of the Ukrainian armed forces in the trench. These bunkers were being actively used. The coordinates of the bunkers were transmitted to the BM-21 Grad MLRS unit, and the operation began. The trench and bunkers were destroyed. The defeat of the AFU 57th OMPBR's personnel concentration zone on the territory of a textile factory near the village of Vovchansk by the concentrated fire units of the Russian armed forces. In the meantime, you can use YouTube Super Thank You to support us and our content. We need it to continue with our videos. Footage of the work of the BM-21 Grad MLRS crew in Orakovsky direction, Zaporizhzhia region. The crew of the BM-21 Grad MLRS of Dnipro destroyed an ammunition depot and military armored vehicles of the armed forces of Ukraine. This 122mm caliber rocket launcher system vehicle has 40 rockets. It has a range of 20 to 45 kilometers. It is mounted on the Ural 375D truck.
The Panzer S-1 air defense missile and cannon system shot down a Ukrainian drone in the sky over the border area of the Kursk region. This was reported by the Russian Defense Ministry. Panzer S-1 is a short and medium-range air defense system developed by Russia. It uses both surface-to-air missiles, SAM, and it carries 30mm automatic cannons. It hits low-altitude targets, drones, cruise missiles, helicopters, low-flying aircraft, protects important infrastructure and military convoys. Range up to 20 kilometers. Shelters, equipment, vehicles, and positions of the armed forces of Ukraine in the Kharkiv region were destroyed by the TOS-1A Solntsepek calculation of the Northern Group of Forces. TOS-1A is a Russian-made thermobaric rocket launcher system. Its difference from conventional MLRS systems is that it uses heavy thermobaric, vacuum ammunition. Therefore, it is classified as a heavy fire support system. The Uragan MLRS calculations of the Air Force Artillery Brigade destroyed combat vehicles and positions of the armed forces of Ukraine and disrupted the distribution of reserves to the front line in the Kursk border region. The BM-21 Uragan is a 220mm multi-barrel rocket launcher system, MLRS, developed by the Soviet Union. Developed in the early 1970s, it entered service in 1975. It is mounted on an 8x8 ZIL-135 heavy truck chassis. Russia frequently used Uragans during the Ukrainian war. The Russian Defense Ministry announced that the points of deployment and accumulation of armored vehicles of the armed forces of Ukraine were hit. This vehicle is the multi-barrel rocket launcher system used by Russia. The model of this vehicle is the BM-30 Smerch. It is an advanced system capable of launching 300mm rockets and attacking long-range targets. The Russian Defense Ministry said that the crew of the BM-1-2 SAM system shot down a Ukrainian drone manufactured by Germany's Vector. The BM-1-2 is a medium-range surface-to-air missile, SAM system, developed to counter aircraft, helicopters, cruise missiles, and ballistic threats.
Всем приветствую! Сегодня 23 февраля, сегодня День защитника Отечества. Парни, я хочу поздравить от себя всех с праздником мужчин. И это салют для вас. Орудие 1, орудие 2, остатком зал.
In the village of Chasiv Yar, several positions of the armed forces of Ukraine were fired upon by Russian TOS-1A Solntsepek. TOS-1 A Solntsepek is a heavy multiple rocket launcher system developed by Russia. It is a 220mm diameter platform capable of launching rockets with high explosive and thermobaric warheads. Mounted on the chassis of Russia's T-72 tank, this system is capable of launching 24 rockets and is notable for its intense short-term firepower. The identified positions near Pokrovsk were hit one after another by artillery shelling. Trenches, bunkers, checkpoints, communications equipment, various military equipment and supplies were hit. Artillery units need precise coordinates to hit the target with pinpoint accuracy. For this, drone operators play an important role. Reconnaissance drone operators record the coordinates of the detected targets after careful calculations and transmit them to artillery or tank units. Sometimes these coordinates are also transmitted to Grad MLRS units. Then the firing starts immediately, and the targets are hit as accurately as possible. A large number of positions of the Ukrainian armed forces were detected in the Kursk border area. Russian BM-21 Grad MLRS quickly attacked this area, where various military vehicles and equipment were located. Using 122mm rockets, it provides intense fire support over large areas within minutes. In addition, the Grad system is generally fast deployable, and its high mobility makes it ideal for sudden attacks. The Ministry of Defense announced that the Baba Yaga drone was shot down by Manpad's Verba. Manpad's Verba is a modern shoulder-launched air defense system developed by Russia. Verba, also known by the designation 9K333, provides an especially effective defense against targets at low altitude. Targets are usually low-altitude aircraft, helicopters, and unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. One of the most important features of the Verba is the high sensitivity of its IR infrared seeker head, which makes it more reliable and faster to react. The MLRS Grad crews of the Zapad group reported striking numerous positions, strongholds, bunkers, and various military installations detected by reconnaissance drone operators. The BM-21 Grad is a multiple rocket launcher system, MLRS, developed by the Soviet Union. It entered service in the 1960s and is equipped with 122mm rockets. The system usually has a truck chassis carrying 40 rockets. The BM-21 Grad MLRS crew struck the area on the right bank of the Dnieper River in Kherson, where equipment and UAV control points were concentrated. At the same time, there was a large amount of military equipment, ammunition, supplies, and vehicles. An interesting aspect of the BM-21 Grad is that the rockets can reach a certain distance before exploding, effectively creating a false target. In other words, these rockets can mislead enemy forces by emitting intense sound and light around them before they explode. This feature makes it difficult for the enemy to predict exactly where the rocket will explode and is also effective in terms of psychological warfare. The BM-21's rapid-fire capability allows it to launch a large number of rockets in a short period of time, giving it the advantage of overwhelming the enemy by intensively bombarding a large area. Grad MLRS units of the Trust Forces Group launched an attack on the identified positions. The equipment hit forts and observation posts, as well as the routes of movement of mobile firepower. According to the news report, the pickup truck was also destroyed. The positions identified in the direction of Kupiansk were hit by the Russian BM-21 Grad unit after precise calculations. The PC-30 MLRS, multiple launch rocket system, multi-barrel rocket launcher system struck positions on the outskirts of Chasiv Yar. Military personnel in the calculation of the anti-aircraft missile system, TOR, of the Vostok Group of Forces are actively involved in combat every day. One after another, they destroy the reconnaissance and attack drones they detect. TOR was developed specifically against cruise missiles, UAVs, helicopters, and low-altitude aircraft. Its range is 12 to 16 kilometers. Maximum altitude, 10 to 12 kilometers. TOR plays an important role on modern battlefields. The Russian Defense Ministry announced the destruction of the FPV drone launch points of the armed forces of Ukraine by calculations. The shots were fired with MLRS Grad. Russian FPV reconnaissance drone operators detected the drone launch points of the Ukrainian armed forces. Then the coordinates were reported to the Grad crew, and the attack began without delay. 98th Airborne Division paratroopers launched a direct attack on the village of Chasiv Yar with the BM-21 Grad multiple rocket launch system. Many positions, vehicles, armored combat vehicles were damaged. Artillery of the Vostok Group worked on targets of the armed forces of Ukraine in southern Donetsk. The BM-21 Grad fired rocket after rocket at the target from a 122mm multi-barrel rocket launcher. The number of rockets of the BM-21 Grad is 40. It can launch all rockets in 20 seconds. Its range varies between 20 to 40 kilometers. The attack took place at night. According to this video published by the Russian Defense Ministry, the BM-21 Grad MLRS crew of the Russian Central Forces Group destroyed a stronghold and a field ammunition depot of the Ukrainian armed forces. The video belongs to the Russian Defense Ministry.